Hello everyone, this is Sricharit from IIM Ahmedabad, and today here I am with Mr. Tapan Singhel, the CEO and MD of Bajaj Allianz, whom if I keep talking of the awards and the achievements he has done, the entire time I have given will be done. So I'll just jump into the questions directly, sir. My first question to you is, you have done your masters in physics. From there to insurance, how did this happen?
So, Sri, a lot of things in life happens, on its own. We take credit of it. So I want to be a scientist. I wanted to get the Nobel Prize for my country. So I studied to become a scientist. One of my friends brought in some forms for the competitive examination. In those days, you had to appear for IAS or Bank PO or Insurance AA. They were the coveted jobs of those era. So he brought an extra form and he told me, why did you fill this up? And he challenged me, like, this is an IQ test and you should try it. So I took the challenge, I filled it up and I qualified. And then people told me at a young age, you become a class 1 officer. Try it for some time, it doesn't sound good, you can leave. I think that is how I entered into insurance.
And you started liking it.
Yeah, I think soon I realized, initially I was just having fun because I had no intention of staying. Then I started realizing that I actually do good to society through my job. I make a difference. And that somehow appealed to me a lot. I said, this is an amazing place to be where you get paid to do good. And that's how I stayed actually.
And if it was not insurance, and for the kind of person you are, you really excel at whatever you like to do, what would be the thing? How would I see you today if it was not for insurance?
You would have seen me as an innovator, maybe doing something like what Elon Musk is doing, no?
Oh.
It would be more on those sense, because my mission has always been to do things very differently. And as I said, I want to be a scientist. And I used to love experimentation. I worked on laser spectroscopy. I early on made stress analysis tests through using lasers, and I created all the three-dimensional aspects you see today very early on. So I used to love it. I used to love creating projects, doing things which would be very different from what people would think about. So maybe you would have seen me do that. Who knows?
And the other thing I want to ask is, you've been nearly 30 years in your corporate career, then you have had a long life, different areas you've worked at. What does a fulfilled career or a happy career for you look like? What is your ideal career?
That's a very interesting question, Sri. So at every stage of life is different. So when you're starting work, I think that time your ambition is to make some good money. So you can buy a good car of your choice, you can buy a house, you can start a family. Those are the obsessions which should be there. Then as you progress in your career, obsessions are that can you make it to the top, can you be a CXO, can be you an MD and CEO, because those are aspirations as building. Then down the line, when you're achieving that, you start realizing, oh no, this is not what is fulfillment. Then you start thinking about society, you start thinking of industry, you start thinking of country, you start thinking of the world, you start thinking how can you make a difference to people. Then it evolves that how can you make a difference to individuals you meet at all levels. Then it evolves to a place where for you organization is a ship through which you can do good to people in society. And your professional expertise is the expertise through which you can make a difference and transform the industry for the betterment of society. Then you reach there. I think at all stage, whatever you desire and aspire to, if you're really sincere towards it and you're able to do that, it is fulfilling. Every stage is fulfilling. So when I was desiring to make some money to buy a motorcycle itself, and I bought one for my own money, that itself was fulfilling for me. More fulfilling maybe than buying the best of cars later in my life. Now for me, when I make a difference to somebody's life, I find it very fulfilling. So it will evolve in your career as you progress. But never in your career you should feel stagnated or not know what to do next. Just remember the evolution process and you keep on evolving and you'll have a fulfilling life as you progress.
If I can interpret it correctly, then it's not like a person should have one fulfilling goal or aim, and it's throughout the journey they should be experiencing it.
Exactly. No, I think you summed it well. And to answer it very simply, ask somebody in school or college what is their biggest ambition dream in terms of what they want. Most of them may end up in my time just to look for a motorcycle, or get married, and settle. That was it. That you finish off in the first 2-3 years of your career, then what? Is your life over? It's not so, So you evolve. The only thing is look forward for the evolution. A lot of people at times feel frustrated, stagnated, there's nothing more in my life. No, it's not so. Open new doors, open new excitement, keep on moving ahead, and every time as you move to the next door, be very happy and satisfied that you could cross the previous one and you could come here. I think that is how you have to keep on looking at your progression.
Just following up on that, every person in their career usually have a low tide where anything they do doesn't go right, and at the same time emotionally or personally also will be feeling the same. Did you face any such challenges, or if someone faces challenges, how would you say a person should tackle it?
Okay, so I always, when somebody tells me this, I always remind them that when they first wrote ABCD, when they were being taught by their parents, did they get ABCD right? They would have got it all wrong. Maybe they would have got scolded, they would have got fired, they would have been told to rewrite again. Today if I tell them write ABCD, do you think they'll get it wrong? They get perfectly right. There's nothing called lows. It is just that you're not getting it, and then you get it. When you get it, you make it big. Now let's say you qualified for IIM. Maybe you would have given examination for the first time, you didn't qualify. I'm not aware about it. But now when you qualified, that time all examination you would have given, you would have qualified for everything. It's like that. After a certain inflection point, you reach a stage where you are like good at it, and for you to become like cake, when you start thinking, oh, why did I think it was a low time? No, it was always a high time. It just made me stronger. So when you face a low, you should always think that this is just trying to make me stronger. Because the day you cross that mountain, it looks so small to you, and you look back at your life, it has happened many times. So whenever low hits you, just think back that I fought so many battles, I won so many mountains, right from writing ABCD, as a small child. So why not this? This also I shall overcome. Nothing stays forever.
I think the example of ABCD is the most simplest way one can explain this. And yeah, it's true. Like even for me, I had to take 2 attempts to get there.
Exactly. See, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But now when you look back, that time when you failed, you would have felt miserable.
Yeah.
To look back, you would be smiling. Oh no, I think it did good for me. It made me stronger. I got into IIM Ahmedabad. Maybe I would have got at the first attempt, maybe a smaller positioning. I may not have got it to where I got. So maybe you're happy that you failed now. But at that time when you failed, it must be the low time of your life, Yeah. That low time actually made you stronger.
Yeah. And this would be a controversial question, and we
please.
already had a discussion. But what do you think is the relevance of a degree, especially MBA, in today's corporate world, in today's business context?
So when I joined insurance, in the interview, the question was asked to me was that you are a scientist by education and you've done good in science, you do so many projects. Why should we take you in insurance? That was the question asked to me, and now that's about 31 years back. So let me tell you the answer I gave then. I said, education to me is the training of the mind. Any education, As a scientist, my mind has been trained in a particular way, which is eternally curious, is eternally figuring out, why not this, why not that. That is how I got trained. So that's why I experiment, I challenge the hypothesis, I try to reconfirm it. So that education has trained my mind to think like this. And I feel that this thinking of a mind will play a vital role in whatever job I do, even if I join insurance. Now fast forward, if I look at 31 years back, I don't think I did a bad job, being a scientist in an insurance sector. Any education trains your mind. It trains your mind in a particular way to think, and that adds value. So it doesn't matter what have you learned. What matters is how excited about what you want to do, and you want to apply your thinking process and your mind to the betterment of what has to be done. So never think yourself to be inferior if you don't have any fancy degree, or nor should you think yourself to be superior just because you have a fancy degree. It just teaches your mind to think in a particular manner, and each person brings in the diversity of thoughts. And that's why if you look at most organizations talk of diversity and inclusion as a big thing, where they feel that makes a difference to the organization. So every individual is very special, and every degree is very special. That's the way I look at it.
And my final question. Education in India is becoming very expensive from school till college. And what happens is, even when you go till college, though many educational institutions will say that banks give them free loans and everything, but that pushes people off from a risk-taking path to a risk-averse path, like into a job than entrepreneurship. What is your take on this?
So I've told this many times. If India has to become the biggest economy of the world, the only difference it has to do is from being global CEOs to becoming global wealth creators. It is as simple as that. The spirit of entrepreneurship at a massive scale has to build up. Because the entrepreneurs create jobs, entrepreneurs create wealth, they create excitement, they go and challenge the frontiers. I think that is definitely any country in which the entrepreneurship spirit is at the highest will always be the most powerful economy of the world. If you look at when India was very powerful, you would find it had its highest entrepreneurship. When you do a job, it is good because everybody becomes an entrepreneur who does a job then. It doesn't work. So it depends on your temperament. But if we have more entrepreneurs, I personally feel very excited. So if you ask me, though all my life I did a job, but I get very excited when I see people who want to do entrepreneurship. I believe that if my country, and I've seen this progress, if I look at the past 7-8 years, I see many youngsters now trying entrepreneurship. They're trying to fight it out. If I go back, let's say in my time, nobody tried. You just get a job. I think it was like life and death in our time, which is happening. So I've seen the shift happen, and I've seen how the economy of India has grown. If that shift keeps on happening at a massive pace, it's going to be very, very good for our country. I think that's the way I look at it.
Thank you for all your answers, and I think these answers make it up for why Mr. Singhel has been awarded like the CEO of the Year multiple times, and I think it just keeps on adding forever. And thank you a lot for giving me this opportunity to interview and have the time spent with you. Thank you a lot.
Thank you, Shri. It was my honor. Really great seeing you and meeting you. Thank you very much. Thank you.